Hey, and welcome back to the Dreamweaver Crash Course. And in today's lesson, we're going to be covering forms. Now, forms are very important for web pages and websites because they allow your visitors to communicate with you. You can use forms to give your visitors an opportunity to ask questions or leave suggestions. It also allows you to collect information from your visitors about what they like or don't like, their tastes, so that you can prepare better content or content that will make your visitors want to keep coming back and visiting your site. To create a form, first you would need to go to the Forms tab. You click Forms, and here's a form element. And you click that, and you'll have your form element here, and everything inside of this little box, this red dotted line box, the web page will know that this is all the information inside this box is for a form. If you look down at the property inspector, you'll have different options available. An action, and this is once the form is submitted, what do you want to happen? This is where you would add your script. Usually is what is used with forms, and the script will take the information and either put it into a database, respond. It'll do different things with it, and we're not going to get into that in this lesson, but that's what it's for. The method is just the method that is used when collecting the information, what to do with it. You're going to get things from the server, you're going to post things to the server, different in the way that information is sent there. So to start, what we are going to do is we're going to create a table, and that'll allow us to have our form look better and more organized. And to create a table, you go back to Common, and this little box here is for table. You click that, and first make sure you're inside your point is inside the box. And for rows, we're not going to use 20 for rows. That's a bit much. How about we're going to go with 7 and then 2 columns, 100%. That all looks right, and so we're going to leave it like that. We're going to click OK, and now we have our table. And tables are pretty cool. They're not really used much these days, but they're very cool for organizing content on your web page. And now that we have that done, we are going to get started. Now first, I'm going to select this side. If you move your cursor just to the top of this column and you get the down arrow, click that, and now you have the entire column selected. We're going to have the alignment for horizontal, the horizontal alignment to the right. And that way it'll look better. You'll see why once we get started. Now the first thing we want to do, let's go back to forms. First thing we want to do is we're going to create a box for visitors to enter their name. And so to do that, you're going to click this first top left box and go here to the text field, click that, and you're going to get a box up. It's going to give you an ID and a label. The ID is basically what this field will be called, and you use that when you're adding script, and the script needs to know what information is being taken. The ID is basically the name that the script recognizes, and so we can just call it name. The label is what will show up for the visitor, so what they see. And we're going to call this first name and last name. It lets them know what to do with that field. So we're going to just type first and last name. We're going to attach label using for attribute. We're going to leave it there. Position before an item, before form item. And it's just asking where do you want the label to be. And so we want the label first, and then we want the field right after. So we're going to go ahead and click OK, and there it is. And now what I do is I'm going to click the field. You make sure it's selected, just the field, because when it originally starts, it'll have both. And so the label and the field. So we're going to go ahead and just click the field, click and drag it to the right. And now you'll have the label on the left and the field on the right. and it makes it easier to format and have everything look nice. Next, we are going to create, and also just to explain a little bit, when you start adding your elements, when you click the field down at the property inspector, you'll have a bunch of different options here. The type of field we're using is a single line, and that's just one row because that's usually how your name will look. But you can make this field for multi-line, and that'll just allow, you know, more lines to be seen. And it's usually not useful for names, but hey, you know, whatever you want to do, whatever suits you. The next is password, and that'll allow when someone types in there, it'll have like a password from the dots or whatever. It'll let the script know that this is for password. And also you can format it and add, you know, classes here with CSS and the things you want to do. If you want to change the ID, you can do that here. Character width, this is how many, it's blank, so it's default. This is the character width is how many characters do you want visible in the field. So how big or how long you want the field to be. You type here, and the max characters. So you may have the field be 10 characters long, and then the max characters they can put in will be 15, and then so it will cut off 5 characters once they click out of it. Initial value is what do you want to automatically be in the box. You could, you know, type name here or something like that. And so for now, we're going to leave those blank. And next line, we're going to create an email field. And so we're going to use the same field, the text field. The ID is going to be email and label will be email with a capital E. Okay. Click box, drag. And it's basically, you know, the same thing. So we're kind of moving along. Now, the third field we're going to enter is going to be the checkbox field. Can't talk today. And what that'll do is it'll be, we're going to use this for like a newsletter. So we're going to call it, give it an ID of I guess newsletter. And the label will say, would you like to receive our monthly newsletter? And then in parentheses, it'll say, click here. So it's a bit much, we're going to type that. Okay, we want that before form item. Click OK. We're going to click the box and click over here. Okay. And so, you know, it's starting to look pretty cool. And so basically, you know, like you go to some websites and actually, you know, you want the newsletter and they can click there and let them know. Another thing that's really important that websites like to know is where's the traffic coming from? How did you find out about us? And so to do that, what we're going to do is use the radio group. And the radio group will, actually, I'm sorry. We need to be over here. So you're going to click on the right side. And the radio group is, we're going to create a bunch of different options for them to select. So we're going to call it, you know, it's radio group 1. We're just going to call it, you know, Hear of Us. Okay, looks like I can type after all. And so to change them, the labels, you just go in and click them and then change them. The value is what the script will pick up. And so there's different ways you can communicate what the person chose. Like say for the first line, we want internet. You know, maybe they heard of us through the internet somehow. The value we're going to enter will be 1. And so 1 will automatically indicate that they found us through the internet. And for the second one, we're going to maybe TV, and we'll enter a 2. And that'll be how we go about it. Now, we want to add one more. I want to add one more for other. And to do that, you just click this plus here. And you'll get your next radio button. and type other. The value will be 3. Now say I want the order to be internet, TV, and then other. Or I'm sorry, internet, other, then TV. To do that, all you need to do is click other, and then we can click up, and it just moves it up. And that's how you change the order. Click OK, and there we go. Now on this side, we are going to type a question. This isn't going to be really used by the script at all. It's just so that the visitors will know what those buttons are for. And so we're going to type, how did you hear of us? Okay. And on the next line, we're going to use a drop-down menu. Drop-down menus are pretty cool. And I guess this can be for, say, what would you like to see more of on our site? And they can, visitors can drop down and click, something. And so to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go right here and click select. The ID will be, we'll just call it see more of. And again, the ID is for any sort of script or program that's going to be accessing this information. The label will be what we want the visitors to see. Okay. We're going to attach before, and everything's right. Okay. We're going to move that over here. Now we want to add some things to this box. So once you click on it, down at the property inspector, you'll see everything, and you can have it come up as a menu or as a list. And we're going to have it set up just as a menu. And initially select it, blank, and we're going to go to list values. Now the first thing, what we're going to do is, what would they like to see more of? How about maybe spaceships? So we'll just type, it's a UFO site, so spaceships. And again, like the radio buttons, we're going to give it a value of 1. And that'll let us know 1, 2, 3, whatnot, what they chose. And that way we don't have to deal with the text string going through a script. It's a lot easier to just use a number value. The next item we're going to use with, let's say, alien beings. Maybe they want more pictures of actual aliens crashed or talking or whatever. And we'll call that 2. We're going to add another value. And how about alien technology? I know I'm a big Trekkie. I love sci-fi, so alien technology has always been very cool to me. And we'll give that a 3. We'll say OK. And now when you look at the form, at that section of the form, it automatically says alien technology. And so we don't necessarily want it to say that. We want it to kind of have like a blank spot and give the visitor a chance to choose something. So we're going to add one more label, and we're going to, we're just going to type select. We're going to call it select. And it's going to have a value of 0. That way, when the script or program picks this form up, if this section or if this element has a 0 value, we know that they didn't choose anything. They just left it as select. And we're going to move that up to the top. And press OK. And you see that it automatically still says alien technology. What we're going to do is click that. Down the property inspector for it comes up, and it says initially selected. And we're going to click select. And so when it loads up, this will be the option that's automatically selected, and that's the way we want it. Now in the next section, we want a comment bar, a comment area, so that it's usually the reason people go to a contact us page is to leave some sort of remark, question, or something. And to do that, instead of clicking the regular text field, we're going to click text area. And what that'll do, that'll give us a big box for our visitors to leave a message. The ID will be comment, and the section label will be comments. Okay. Click it, drag it over. And Once you click in it, now this, as you can see, it looks different than the regular text field. Multi-line is selected. It asks how many lines you want. This number of lines is for the visible amount of lines. So it'll allow you to go much further than just 5 lines, but this is how much visible text will be available. And then the character width is how wide. So it's automatically selected at 45 and 5. And so we're going to go ahead and leave it that way. That's pretty cool. That's big enough. And on the last section here, we're going to go ahead and create our buttons. And this is where we want our submit button and our reset button to be. And to do that, all you need to do is very easy. All you need to do is click the button, and it asks for an ID and a label. And the ID will be submit. And we're going to click OK. We're going to leave the label because we actually don't really need a label for a button, because usually the button has a name on it already, especially a submit button. So we're going to click OK. As you can see, it comes up and it says submit already. The value is submit. The button name is submit, and this is what the script is going to recognize to let it know it's a submit button. And then there's an action for buttons. It's submit form or reset the form or none. And so it's that easy. And so we're going to go ahead and click on the right side, and we're going to create a reset button so that if our visitors want to just erase the form for some reason, they got halfway through and didn't like it, or they just want to erase everything and it's just too much for them to go hit the delete button, they can just hit reset and blank it out. And it's the same thing, just hit button. The ID will be reset, lowercase, and then OK. And default, it automatically says submit, but we're going to change it from an action from a submit form to reset form, and as you see, it changed to reset. And I'm going to click live view here, and that's how the form will look. It looks pretty cool. And if we want to go further, we can attach our style sheet to it and have some formatting here, change the text color, background. There's a bunch of ways you can play with it. And now you can type things here, email address, you can click your box, nah, do I want it, do I don't, do I want it, no, yes, no, yes. How did you hear about us? You drop down, comments, and then submit it. And once you click submit, if you have your script in place, it'll go ahead and hand it off to the server. We don't have a script for this exercise, and so you can just reset and it goes back, and that's a form for you. Pretty cool, pretty easy. One more thing I want to change. Say I want to change the button from submit to like send. That's done right here in the value area, and you just type send. You click back, your form change to send, and that's how you can change the name of your button. And that'll be it for today. In our next lesson, we'll actually get into form validation, and that'll make our forms a lot cooler. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.